Hey guys, welcome to Shapr3D. Today we're going to be working on a pillow. Some users have requested some examples of surface modeling, and a user has requested a pillow, so those two kind of come together, as you will see. So what I usually start with is a line in the middle, so I can go ahead and mirror stuff. But sometimes aligning can be a pain, just because it doesn't click or whatever. Usually it's not a problem, but in this case it was. So what I'm going to do is just going to start from the center where it attaches, and I'm going to do like one line across and another one. That way I just have equal terms, no mistakes, because if you mess up one line in the beginning, then whatever you center later will be a mistake. Anyways, let's go ahead and align that pillow to that size just so we have that equal measurement. Why does it matter? Since this is an example, it probably doesn't, but for your projects it might. So it's good to start with correct dimensions right off the bat, just so you don't have to worry about it later. But anyways, like I said, let's align this and make it look good. And then after that, we can go ahead and continue with our process of measurements. And then I also like to, just in case, have that line in the center, even though we already have the axis, but just for fun. And anyways, let's go ahead and do our radius before we extrude, so we don't have to do it later. Don't forget to lock everything in place though, except for that arc. And now we can start to work. So one arc, and then also the top one, and then we'll just go ahead and mirror the one on the other side. But anyways, doesn't all have to be exactly the same, but I just like to have even numbers when I can. And then let's go ahead and mirror. And now that we got that, let's do the extrude. So what we're gonna do here is just do one side at a time, so we can just duplicate, replicate, whatever. And let's make it halfway so that we can have another side on there as well, so we can manipulate it a little bit better. But a little trick I picked up while doing a project is if you do chamfer and then you can do fillet, it does this neat trick where it extends it further than it usually would, because usually it does the corners and then you're stuck. But keep in mind, this is harder to edit, as you will see later, but at the same time it's necessary for some projects as this one. So we need the pillow to look a little bit more realistic, even though it's not going to be perfect, because we can't really smooth out all the edges. Since this is the direct modeling CAD software, we can't really do major surface modeling, only minor. But it'll be fine for our needs. It'll be fine because we're just doing an example. And again, if this was a bigger piece, then we could probably manipulate it a bit more. But for what we're doing, this is fine. So anyways, let's fillet those edges. Now we have a smooth looking pillow. And I would just like those corners done as well, just to finish it up. But let's go ahead and finish that. Yeah, that looks good. And then let's go ahead and mirror that so we have both sides, but we have to hide the picture and the sketches first. So let's go ahead and do that first. As you can see, it's harder to edit until you have both sides in place. So let's go ahead and hide those, and then mirror it over. And union, we need to union these, which is basically making them together. As you can see, that one line disappeared because it became one plane. And now we can go ahead and move on to these corners, and there will be, again, limitations. Like this corner has a bit more of a bend that we can work with, but on the bottom corner, as you can see, it's a bit sharper, so we are more limited. We have to zoom in to even get that to work, because it's right there on the lines. But as you can see, we have half of our pillow, so it looks pretty good. But let me just go ahead and show you one example of the limitations of surface modeling here that we have in Shapr, that we have to deal and work around, at least at this point, because as you have probably seen, this app keeps improving on a massive scale. Like Istvan does a great job with his team. But anyways, while we can do some minor changes, the rule of thumb is to do everything up front so that you have to edit the lines as little as possible later. But anyways, let's go ahead and change that over to white, because most pillows are white, and it looks good this way. And let's go ahead and also look at what it would look like without the lines, so that we can see how it looks like because when you have the lines, it looks like it's a drawing, but now we can see how it looks like for real. And since we have a little bit of shading, we can kind of see those edges there. But like I said, unless you make it a much bigger piece with lots of lines that you can edit later, this is about as good as we can get since this is direct modeling CAD software. But anyways, let's go ahead and also look how close it is to the picture that we used as a reference, and I would say that's pretty darn close. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good rendition of the project that we have here, at least for reference. Obviously, this isn't the final product, but for someone who wants to just showcase, like, let's say they're designing a sectional or a couch, I think this is a pretty good use. Anyways, as always, I hope you learned something, and feel free to share and like this video and subscribe so you can see more of this stuff. If you have any questions, go ahead and throw them down in the comments, and I'll try to answer them, maybe make a few more videos. And for those who've made it this far, thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.